Dark chosen ones, why must you fall into darkness before gaining shadow power? There is a moment in every chosen one's life, a moment so profound, so terrifyingly silent, that the entire universe seems to pause just to witness it. It is the moment before the fall. The moment before everything you thought you knew about yourself begins to unravel. The moment when the light you once basked in becomes blinding, unbearable, and suddenly false. If you are listening to this, it is likely because you are beginning to feel it. That quiet pull beneath your ribs. That strange ache in your soul. The whisper in the back of your mind that tells you nothing is as it seems. That whisper is not madness. It is the invitation. You see, the path of the chosen one is not paved in gold or bathed in divine light. That is a lie told to make you complacent. The true path begins with a fall. You don't rise first, you descend. Because before you can wield true power, before you can become a master of shadows, you must first be devoured by them. The universe does not entrust the secrets of the dark to those who have not bled for them. The darkness is not a punishment. It is the forge. And you, my friend, are the blade being tempered.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
I speak from experience. I was once like you, searching for meaning in light, trying to be good, trying to be liked, trying to fit into the mold the world gave me. But the more I tried to be holy, the more I felt hollow. The more I clung to the light, the more it burned me, because I wasn't meant to be a child of the sun. I was always meant to be something else, something deeper, something darker, and so are you. Let me ask you something. Why do you think the most powerful stories, the most legendary heroes, always fall before they rise? Why do the greatest warriors, sages, and prophets all face a period of exile, betrayal, and despair? It's because they must die before they can be reborn. They must lose everything, even themselves. Because only in the void can the truth be found. Have you noticed how your life has been falling apart? How people who once loved you now avoid you? How the things you once enjoyed now feel meaningless? That's not bad luck. That's transformation. The universe is stripping away the illusions. It is tearing down the false layers you've been wearing so that your true form can emerge. But you must let it happen. You must allow the darkness to consume you, not with resistance, but with awareness. Because this is not the end. It is the beginning. You're not broken. You're breaking open. The darkness you feel is not here to hurt you. It's here to show you what you truly are when everything else is taken away. Are you still a light when no one sees you shine? Are you still strong when no one applauds your strength? Are you still worthy when you're cast out, alone, unseen? These are the questions that forge a shadow being. And let's be honest, there's a part of you that's always known this. A part of you that thrives in silence, that dreams not of fame or fortune, but of raw truth. That's the part the world tried to kill, but it didn't succeed, did it? You're still here, still breathing, still listening. That means you are chosen. But being chosen isn't glamorous. It's brutal. It means you will be misunderstood. It means you will walk alone for a while. It means you will be tested over and over again, not because the universe hates you, but because it is preparing you. People often ask, why me? But the real question is, why not you? Why shouldn't you be the one who rises from the ashes? Why shouldn't you be the one who learns to dance with demons and command the shadows? Do you think light is the only source of power? No, light is obvious. Light is loud. But the shadow contains secrets. The shadow holds mysteries that light cannot touch. And here's the paradox: to gain shadow power, you must first be powerless. You must be humbled, brought to your knees. You must lose your mind. You must be shattered so that your soul can reassemble itself in a new shape, the shape of your destiny. So if you're struggling right now, if you're spiraling, crumbling, doubting everything good, That means the process has begun. Do not run from it. Stop trying to fix yourself. Stop trying to be what you were. That version of you is gone. It served its purpose. Now you must become what you were always meant to be. Something darker, something wiser, something unstoppable. Let me tell you something you won't hear in temples or churches. The darkness within you is not evil. It is ancient. It is sacred. It is the part of you that remembers the worlds before this one. It is the part of you that doesn't flinch when the storm comes. It is the part of you that knows how to survive, how to endure, how to transform pain into power. That part of you has been sleeping, but now it's waking up, and it's hungry. You must feed it not with fear, but with truth, with silence, with solitude, with surrender. Go into the dark places. Sit with your grief. Let it speak. Let your rage rise. Let your sorrow pour out. Let yourself fall completely, because only then can you rise fully. Everything you've been taught about darkness is a lie. Darkness is not the enemy of light. It is its womb. Light is born from darkness. Every star in the sky was born in a black hole. Every soul that shines went through a night that nearly destroyed them. So why must you fall? Because only in falling do you learn to fly without wings. Only in falling do you learn what the ground really is, the floor of your old self. And once you hit it, you realize there's no going back. Only forward. Into the unknown. Into the shadow. Into the power that has been waiting for you all along. And now I must ask you this: are you willing to lose everything you thought you were just to become what you truly are? Are you brave enough to walk into the dark without a map, without a guide, without a promise that you'll make it out? Because that's what it takes. That's what makes you a dark chosen one, not the gifts, not the visions, not the powers, but the willingness to descend, to be nothing, to embrace the void. If you feel like you're being destroyed, good, it means you're being recreated. The silence between worlds, unlocking the hidden language of shadows. There comes a time, after the fall, when everything becomes quiet. Not the kind of silence that comes from peace, but a deeper, more unnerving silence. One that wraps around your bones and whispers to your soul without using words. This silence is not empty. It is alive. It is ancient. This is the silence between worlds, the space between who you were and who you are becoming. And if you can learn to listen to it, truly listen, you will begin to hear the language of the shadows. Most people fear silence because it reveals everything they've been running from. In that stillness, there are no distractions, no illusions, no masks, just raw truth. And truth, for many, is unbearable. But for the dark chosen nuns, truth is the gateway. When you sit in the silence long enough, it begins to rearrange you. It pulls memories from the depths you never knew existed. It shows you patterns in your pain. It begins to teach a language not made of syllables, but of symbols, sensations, and knowing. You don't hear it with your ears. You feel it in your marrow. This language is the code of the shadow realm. And only those who have fallen into darkness can even begin to interpret it. Why? Because the light blinds us to complexity. Light makes everything visible, yes, but also obvious. It flattens nuance. But the shadow teaches through contrast, through mystery, through paradox. It teaches you to see in layers, to feel without proof, to trust what cannot be explained. And that is the beginning of shadow power, when you no longer need certainty, when you no longer need approval, when you're willing to walk through pitch-black night guided only by your inner senses. You begin to develop something rare: intuitive perception, the ability to discern truth from illusion, not from what people say, but from the energy behind their words. You start to see through facades, through systems, through your old self. You begin to feel what is really happening beneath the surface of things. And this is terrifying for many, because it isolates you even further. Suddenly the world becomes transparent, and you realize how much of it is built on fear, on control, on denial. You can't unsee it. And that's when you know you've stepped into another world, a world between worlds. But here's the secret. This shadow realm is not separate from the world you came from. It overlays it. It's like a hidden layer of reality, one that was always there but invisible to the uninitiated. And now, because you've fallen, because you've suffered, you've unlocked it, you've been granted access. But with access comes responsibility. You can't go back to sleep. You can't pretend anymore. You are now aware, and that awareness is your weapon, your shield, and your burden. So what do you do with it? You learn to move differently. You learn to speak with silence. You learn to act from stillness. You don't chase power, you embody it. You don't seek to conquer, you seek to understand. And you begin to realize something extraordinary. The darkness never wanted to break you. It wanted to awaken you. It wanted you to remember who you are underneath all the programming. The silence is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is the space where shadow becomes wisdom. Let me ask you something brutal. When was the last time you sat in absolute silence? Not just without noise, but without identity. When was the last time you stopped trying to be anything and just became aware of what you are? If that question terrifies you, that's good. That's the doorway. Walk through it. The mirror of the abyss, how pain reveals your true naam. There is a sacred moment in every dark journey when you finally dare to look into the mirror, not the one hanging on the wall, but the mirror hidden deep within the abyss of your soul. This mirror is different. It doesn't reflect your face. It reflects your essence, your truth, your raw, untamed being. And it only appears when you've been broken open by pain. Not ordinary pain, the kind that scratches the surface. No. I'm talking about the kind of pain that reaches into the very architecture of who you thought you were and tears it apart. The pain that strips you of your name, your identity, your story. That's when the mirror reveals itself. And what you see is not always what you expected. Shadow power begins here. Not with rituals, not with mantras, but with the willingness to face the reflection that pain gives you. You see, pain is not just suffering. It is a sacred messenger. It's how the shadows speak. Every wound, every betrayal, every heartbreak you've endured has been a coded message. And your job, as one of the dark chosen ones, is to decode it, to understand it, to sit with it long enough that it opens its mouth and speaks your true name. Most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid it, or blame it on others. But pain will never leave you until it has delivered its message. And that message is always about who you are becoming. The darkness doesn't hurt you because it hates you. It hurts you because it's carving something out of you. It's sculpting you. It's chiseling away the lies, the masks, the illusions. And yes, it's violent. Yes, it's terrifying. But what emerges from that sculpting is something rare, something eternal. When I say pain reveals your true name, I mean that it shows you the parts of yourself that were buried under years of programming, your raw instincts, your primal wisdom, your ancient memory. Your name is not what people call you. Your name is the vibration of your soul before the world touched you. And pain is the fire that burns away everything that isn't aligned with that original resonance. You don't find your true self by thinking about it. You find it by losing everything you thought you were and listening to what remains. Let me ask you something. What has your deepest pain taught you about yourself? Not what it took from you, but what it revealed. What did that betrayal show you about your strength? What did that loneliness teach you about your essence? Can you see how every scar is a symbol, not of weakness, but of the battles you survived? Do you understand that the more pain you've endured, the more access you have to the shadow realm's wisdom? Because pain is the toll, it's the currency, and those who have paid it are initiated. But this is not a hopeless message. This is power. Because once you understand the purpose of your pain, once you realize it's been your teacher all along, it no longer controls you. You become the one who commands it. You can look into the abyss and smile. You can use your wounds as weapons of insight. You can walk into darkness and illuminate it not with light, but with understanding. That is shadow power. That is what makes you unstoppable. And here's the twist. The mirror in the abyss doesn't just show you who you are. It shows you who you could be. It shows you your potential not in some fantasy sense, but in the raw, gritty truth of what you are capable of if you stop running from your pain and start integrating it. That version of you is terrifying, not because it's evil, but because it's powerful, because it doesn't need validation, because it doesn't flinch, because it knows its name. Becoming the storm. The final transformation of a shadow being. There comes a moment when the silence has been endured, the pain has been integrated, and the mirror has been faced. And in that moment, somewhere between surrender and awakening, you stop being a seeker and start becoming the storm. This is the final transformation of a shadow being, when you no longer walk through darkness as a victim, but as a force. When you no longer fear the abyss because you have become it. This is not a metaphor. This is a spiritual evolution, a total alchemical shift. You are no longer the one being affected by the energies, you become the energy itself. The storm is not outside you anymore. It is you. But understand this, becoming the storm does not mean becoming chaotic or destructive. It means becoming sovereign. It means you contain your own weather system. You no longer depend on the world to give you direction, meaning, or permission. You generate it from within. You command your shadow and your light. You no longer separate them, you merge them. And when that happens, something sacred ignites inside you. A power that is ancient, primal, and utterly unshakable. That is when the world begins to respond to you differently. Not because you asked for power, but because you became it. People will feel it before you say a word. Your presence shifts rooms. Your silence becomes louder than others' noise. You don't explain yourself anymore, because you don't need to be understood to be real. You understand yourself, and that is enough. You are no longer seeking light or fearing darkness. You are the balance point between both. You are the storm that brings truth, that tears down illusion, that awakens others just by existing. But this power comes with responsibility. A true shadow being does not use their power to manipulate or dominate. They use it to liberate, to protect, to create. You are not here to become another tyrant dressed in spiritual robes. You are here to become a lighthouse for those still lost in their own darkness. Not by saving them, but by showing them what's possible. By being the living proof that pain can be transcended. That the fall was never the end, it was the beginning of your flight. So how do you live now? As a storm. You live with precision, with intention. You speak less but mean more. You move slower, but your presence carries weight. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. You are no longer fragmented, you are whole. And that wholeness makes you magnetic. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, raw, awake. You carry your scars as armor, not as shame. You've been through the fire. You've walked through the void. And now you carry the storm within you, not to destroy, but to transform. Let me ask you one final question. What if everything that broke you was actually building you? What if every loss, every fall, every betrayal was an initiation into the truth of your being? What if this darkness you've been running from was never your enemy, but your womb? What if you were meant to fall so that you could remember how to rise, not with borrowed wings, but with your own? You are not here to be saved. You are here to remember, to reclaim, to rise not in the light or in spite of the dark, but as both. You are the storm, the silence, the shadow, and the fire. You are the dark chosen one, and your time has come. Now go, walk without fear, speak without asking, feel without filters, move like the storm you were born to be. The world won't understand you, and it doesn't have to, because you didn't come here to fit in. You came here to awaken,